Rhinoplasty, breast augmentation. Abdominoplasty, lip augmentation. In 2010, there were over 9 million procedures done on people. 7.7 million were non-surgical, with the top 5 consisting of an injection of some type, hyaluronic acid, laser hair removal, laser skin resurfacing, and chemical pills. The most popular procedure was Botox, with around 2.4 million people. Breast augmentation was the top surgical procedure, with 300,000 done throughout the year. With images of perfect people everywhere, it is no surprise that this cosmetic surgery market is rapidly growing. Because of the miracle of modern medicine, people are living well past their prime. And with that comes the price of old age.
Yeah, every now and then you'll have someone walk in and say, okay, how can I help you? And they'll say, well, I just need a pick-me-up surgery. I need something done.
Surgery is not to just reduce aging. It is also used to enlarge or to reduce body parts. So, you get plastic surgery, what are you getting?
Breast augmentation.
Why?
To feel normal, to be able to wear bras that actually fit for once, and shirts that fit.
So you're saying bras don't fit?
No, it's horrible. It's just like shirts. They always open when you bend over. You're always leaning over like this so you can get, so people don't look down your shirt.
Procedures can cost anywhere from several hundreds to a few thousand.
Here in Utah, I charge about $5,400 for breast augmentation, just a straightforward breast augmentation. If you go to East and West Coast, it'll be $10,000 to $12,000 for exactly the same thing. And so there's a lot of difference in region as to the price. Liposuction, I believe we charge somewhere around $2,400 for the first site, and then every site thereafter is about $750. Some of the sites which aren't as complicated go down in price a little bit.
Individuals have to deal with the pain along with the upkeep after the procedure.
But there's a lot more to it than you would ever think.
Like?
More healing time. It's not necessarily the pain, but like all the stuff you have to do.
Dentists oftentimes play a role into how attractive an individual looks, whether they whiten their teeth or just replace the teeth altogether.
Kids are getting a little bit more self-conscious, more self-aware of their looks, and they want themselves to be as aesthetically pleasing to probably people of the opposite sex. And so, high school is a time when kids want to look their best, and they want to be attractive. And I think that's one of the first things that people notice are a kid's smile. And so they want that smile to be as perfect as they can.
When it comes to surgery, some people have been known to take it to the extreme.
Where you get into trouble is where you get those people that don't really see themselves in reality. And the extreme of that is a body dysmorphic disorder, where they never see things as they really are, and they keep pushing and pushing and go skinnier and skinnier. And those kind of individuals, we try to get in, and at least I do, I try to help them and get them to a psychologist or psychiatrist who can help address that image if I recognize it.
Most individuals who receive cosmetic surgery are females, but about 10% are males. Most males who undergo some sort of cosmetic surgery do liposuction or have chest implants to help keep their chest from sagging. Although most of all the procedures talked about are elective, many individuals undergo plastic surgery after a trauma to feel good about themselves.
Favorite thing to do is reconstruction of the face after a cancer resection, because you can take somebody who's 30 years of age, they get a cancer on their face, and it can be very disfiguring. And so to be able to take that, put it back in a way that makes them something about it, just be normal, to be able to take them and put them back together so they can go out and be normal in society and not have a self-conscious, not have something that makes them self-conscious, is a huge deal.
In recent years, high-end clothing advertisements show more individuals with very flat features, such as a flat chest and bottom, almost 0% body fat.
Actually, they're trying to get away from people who have fake boobs for modeling and stuff. They want to be more natural. Plus, most of the modeling clothes they wear aren't even made for people with boobs. Like Gucci doesn't make clothes for people who have boobs. Neither does Versace.
Yeah, it seems like in the industry, the fashion industry, and even in Hollywood, there's kind of been a push to decrease the breast size. And while that's happening somewhat, I don't see that happening with most people, because I think it's an artificial thing. I think they've said, well, you know, we're going to start changing how girls look at things.
Before you decide to go and get a procedure to look more like the models in the advertisements, think twice, because it might change. In our ever-growing world, amongst all the hustle and bustle, people are constantly surrounded by billboards, magazines, commercials, and store ads. With all these ads constantly surrounding us, most people can't help but feel like they need to look a certain way. Some people spend hours running at the gym, or maybe spend hundreds of dollars on a new anti-aging skin cream, or a pair of pants, or a different kind of makeup, and even in some extreme cases starving themselves to lose a couple extra pounds. The question is, how beautiful are the models in these images really? Nearly everyone knows that these images are airbrushed and altered to an extent. However, do they know how much these images can be altered and fixed?
A lot of the figures, because, and I don't know why this is happening, it seems that it's almost as if the figures are copy and pasted in a lot of it. So when we're drawing from photographic reference just for practice, it's almost as if you're drawing the exact same figure over and over again, because the muscle structure of these models, rather than being individuals and their qualities individual, they're whoever is doing the artwork, and essentially it's coming down to artwork now because they're changing so much probably, it is making them, you know, they're the same person essentially with a different head structure.
Hours upon hours of work are put into making everything look its very best. Getting rid of wrinkles in clothing, eliminating lines in the face, making the eyes a little more intense, creating more dramatic features. The list goes on and on. With so many people being aware of Photoshop and its abilities to change the image, people look for flaws in every image. Take this image. Is it obvious what has been altered? Here's the original. There were 6 hours of work involved in creating this almost unachievable yet magazine-worthy image. Even with most people knowing these media images have been touched up, it is creating a higher standard for individuals to look and be their best, sometimes even better. People on television are the perfect examples of people who are held to a higher standard of looks.
Cap teeth are standard. Most of your anchors have had their eyes done. Even locally, in the local stations, at one point I was in management in local stations here, and we'd send anchors away, they'd have their eyes done. In one case, did laser surgery on an anchor who would have had to wear glasses to read the prompter, a man. And there's Botox that's being done. I'm not sure if the stations pay for Botox, but I do know our station did pay for eyes being worked on. It's pretty standard.
For centuries now, people have been judged on their looks. But nowadays, people live a lot longer than that. But if you are in the public's eye, you better expect criticism.
And I have seen anchors who have been removed because they feel that they no longer cosmetically look attractive enough to do the news.
Some people even welcome others to tell them if they're attractive or not. However, women and men are looked at a lot differently now than they have been in previous years.
And you look back in some of the Victorian eras and so forth, and someone who was a little bit chubbier was perceived as being more beautiful. And you know, I've read about that where it says, well, that's because they had more money, they could eat more, and they weren't as skinny. They didn't, you know, they were better off in society, so that was more attractive. But yeah, I think our society tends to like women that are more, you know, so-called fit or slender, than as opposed to the other.
With a lot of the old traits fading away of what beauty was, and many new factors playing into how attractive a person is, how much exactly does America spend trying to achieve what is commonly known as a 10? $82 billion on clothing per year, 35.9 million gym memberships and health supplies such as diets, $22 billion on cosmetics and skincare, another $19 billion on hairstyles and products, and another $10.6 billion for cosmetic procedures, a total of $133.6 billion per year. Most individuals' self-confidence stem from looking beautiful and having others affirm this beauty. The goal is no longer reaching a personal best in beauty, instead reaching a model or movie star best. People also look to runway models as how they should look. The problem that most people don't realize is the average age of a runway model is anywhere between 14 years old and 19 years old, with the average height of around 5'10 to 5'11. Of course, when you have a girl who's barely hit puberty and is 5'10, you're gonna have no figure. And we idolize that? In a world where people are constantly surrounded by images, both moving and stills, of individuals with nearly unachievable looks, no wonder our standard of beauty is distorted.